Yeah.
You know what? But what bothered me, though, is that they took it off. Okay, so it's Pedro Pascal, of course, the guy who does the voice. So I wish we hadn't seen his face, but okay, whatever. But he took it off. But what got me is that when they took it off, he still had a mustache. And I'm like, man, you never take your helmet off to show anybody. So why are you stylizing your facial hair?
It's for him.
It's for him.
This mustache is for me.
Well, in case my shit accidentally fall off, I'm gonna look good.
It is a shame that your people suffered.
This is a little bit of a spoiler discussion, so if you haven't watched all of the season of what we're about to talk about, you might want to take a little bit of a break. We hope you stick around. I don't think we'll spoil a whole lot for you. Actually, we kind of will. But we'll make it fun even if we do. All right. And y'all probably talking about, what show you talking about spoiling? What are y'all about to discuss? Oh, we about to talk about Mandy and the Kid right there. Let me tell you about my best friend. Y'all know the Mandalorian, or as I like to call it, Mandy and the Kid. Ever since Baby Yoda showed up, it's been the Baby Yoda show.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all look, I don't care how many adventures or misadventures
cool.
he goes on.
That's cool too, but where's Baby Yoda?
Yeah. Yeah, we're Baby Yoda. I don't care how many adventures or misadventures this motherfucker goes on. Everybody gonna be asking, okay, that's cool, you a badass and everything. Where that baby at? Mm-hmm. It's like when you have a new baby, you show up at your mama's house. Y'all all right, but where that baby at? Where that boy at? where
my grandbaby?
Where my grandbaby? Where that new angel at? That's how people are with Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
This is something where Disney, they said, no, we ain't Netflix. Y'all gonna wait. Just calm your ass down. Ain't no binging around here. So we have been waiting for weeks to see how this series was going to end, at least for this series. Our season.
But bounty hunting is a complicated profession.
Oh, now that's what I'm talking about. All this Skywalker shit and the Force and all that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I needed a break.
Let's talk about them gangsters of the galaxy, bounty hunters. Ever since they were introduced to Empire Strikes Back and didn't do a goddamn thing. But they look cool. They look cool. Yeah. I mean, when they stand there holding guns, they look kind of cool. Be kind of cool if they do something with them. Might be a little bit better. Might be cool to get some action with them. Instead of them always standing there salute. They actually had action figures standing there. There's big-ass action figures standing there. This is a series that people have been saying, man, you listen. Ever since Empire Strikes Back came out, y'all have owed me this for over 30 years, damn near 40. I need something. I don't want all this magical shit and the Force and everything. I need something badass. Where's the scum and the villainy and the people that track that all down? We just reached season 8 of The Mandalorian, which was
episode 8.
Episode 8. Episode 8 of The Mandalorian, which is the last episode of this season. Already working on the second season, I hear. I don't know if I like what I'm hearing. But
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll tell you why in a little while. But they just finished episode 8, which is it's not wrapping up this season. We got more to go. There's they're gonna continue. They got more story.
Okay.
And as I said, they're planning season 2. As you know, if you watched it, you know that it ended on a cliffhanger. But as we go into season 2, where they said they're already working on it, they're already putting out details about it. Might be true, might not be true. But I thought it might be cool to look at season 1 and see what it is that we liked about it, what we didn't like about it, what they could do to improve, what worked. And before we even get into that, I thought it might be a good idea to talk about episode 8, which I think even just not as much as other episodes, but kind of slightly has some people divided just a little bit.
Does it?
Yeah, some people are saying, dang, this was a really promising and good way to end this season. I like the way that this episode went. And then some people, not in this room, I don't know how many. Some people are saying, it could have been better.
Could have been better. Could have been better.
I didn't like this. I didn't like that. Which, I'm not saying any names.
Of course.
As I said, might be in this room, might not be. I'm just saying, if that person were to be in here, I kind of understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
I also might disagree a little bit.
Okay.
As you and I, we were driving home from Waco, you brought up some things. I said, well, if I bring this shit up right now and say I disagree, that's gonna be a long car ride.
Or it could be a very short car ride.
You can put me out. You like what? Get out! Hey man, we got pictures of my arms. Okay, all right. I think one of the things that people were talking about with this episode are, they're talking about how the action mixed in with certain other tones in the show. Which one of those tones I think you probably didn't like too much was how they brought in the humor. Because it was going back to getting a little more gritty, but also there was some really funny moments in there.
Yeah.
And that was a lot. When the show ended, a lot of people said, well, of course, because this man directed this episode, Taika Waititi.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Whether you liked it or you didn't like it, it already got people angry right from the start. From the first 2 minutes, people were mad as fuck about this.
About what?
Well, let me see here. There's something I want to bring up here. Let me see. You could tell, first of all, that it was directed by Taika Waititi because they had this dialogue that went between two stormtroopers. Mm-hmm. It was almost like the Pulp Fiction of stormtroopers. Yeah. It was like, they were just chilling, they were bored, and they just pretty much just started shooting the shit. Now,
they're trying to.
and we get to see, stormtroopers really can't hit anything.
Yeah. They shoot the shit better than they can hit shit. Yeah, we get another joke about, that's the thing, we get another joke about how stormtroopers can't shoot. Mm-hmm. But then, it's also something where the stormtroopers are just chilling so hard that they're just talking like regular people. They're just bored. But
people got mad about that?
Well, some people said, well, I don't know, man. That might be a little too goofy. But some other people like saying, man, leave these guys alone. They just cooling out. They're bored. They got all they got to do is just stand around all day. They can't hit shit. They're bad at their jobs. Man, leave them alone. Wait a minute, they did what? And then that's when people found out. If you just wait a little bit, they start punching on Baby Yoda.
Oh, that.
Knock it off. I said, shut up.
Jesus.
I mean, I thought he was going to tap it or slap it. That motherfucker gut punched Baby Yoda. Did you see that?
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, it got people kind of twisted the wrong way with that because of that scene. Because a lot of people did not like that, man. Huh. And the reason why, and let me pull this up here. For one, they said that the comedic tone didn't work for them too much because they were voiced by two people, and one of those people being Jason Sudeikis. He was one of the voices of the stormtroopers right there, and he might want to keep that helmet on. It was him and who was the other guy? Adam Pally. It was him and a guy named Adam Pally. They might want to keep those helmets on because people were pissed about that. I think they could have punched a real baby and people wouldn't have been as mad as they were about punching Baby Yoda. They immediately went to the internet and started putting things out. They said, Jason, I better not see your ass on the street. They put out there, look like this one right here. Jason Sudeikis. He said, this will be great for my career. 2 seconds after the credits rolled. And you see right here, people put out threatening motions and shit. I will find you and kill you. People like, well, it's Baby Yoda and y'all making a joke about, I know it's a baby, but y'all making a joke about punching a baby and everything. This is how we going to start out right here.
Baby can do a lot, though.
Yeah.
It's a powerful
this
baby.
Is a baby that can defend itself. Yeah. I ain't worried about this.
It kills over every time it does it, but yeah.
People, and it was funny because people more upset about Baby Yoda getting punched instead of Nick Nolte's character just dying with smoke coming out his ass.
Yeah, if people hated that scene, that opening to the last episode, they hate me because I watched that last night and I thought, this is my favorite thing. This is the best thing since I said this is better than everything that happened in those last two movies.
I agree with you
because I just thought finally. This is just a human scene. I'm just seeing these stormtroopers as people, what their day-to-day is like. And, of course, getting orders to just be out there and wait. And just wait. why wouldn't they talk to each other? I'm sick of everybody being so stoic and robot-like.
I think you didn't like that, right?
I don't mind the conversation, but what I had an issue with is like we all know stormtroopers can't shoot. We get it. But at the same time, you're also trying to establish the Empire as a threat. Like constantly, this episode in particular tries to establish them as a threat. We see something that's like, okay, well, this is how it proves how dangerous the Empire is, but not when you show them trying to shout something like that. But to me, it's a bad visual gag that de-escalates what the actual threat is, especially after they just murdered one of the best supporting characters of the show. It to me, and this is the problem that I have with I think the series overall, is that it's the inconsistent tone. It doesn't know what it wants to be half the time, and I think that's why it's like it doesn't feel like a fully realized vision. It feels like it's still trying to figure itself out, but it's at the season finale, and that's the issue that I have with it. I have no problem with humanizing stormtroopers. I think they tried to do that with Finn initially, and it just didn't work out, didn't pan out. And I have no problem with the conversation they're having, but certain actions that show it's like this is how incompetent they are. It's like, okay, but then I don't take the Empire seriously as a threat.
Well, you know what? Let me respond to this just real quick.
Yeah.
They say that the United States Army is one of the greatest armies on this planet.
Sure.
But I can guarantee you it's full of goofy motherfuckers like this.
Yeah, of course.
It's full of people who would just like this. Underneath that uniform, you get all kind of crazy types. I think that I'm in full agreement with you. I was like, man, one of my problems with this show is the dialogue is a little stilted and very stagey.
Yeah.
You know, this is what we were saying.
Much like Star Wars as a whole.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why people love Han Solo so much.
Yeah.
Because Han Solo, he was real.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's a galaxy far, far away, but, for lack of a better expression,
But
he was
the one
down
going
to
like,
earth.
Man, I'm not down with all this shit you guys keep talking about.
Yeah. No, he was the most relatable character because he talked like us. Meanwhile, in this show, you have people who are so serious, or they're talking this fake made up phrase, I have spoken, or it is the way, which by the way, it's not the way, because every time you said that, it did not go like that. It never did.
The way is apparently any direction.
Yeah. If the Mandalorian ever says this is the way, expect the opposite. Expect it to not go that way. For a change, that's been a problem of these shows with them being so short. The dialogue has not been able to be dialogue has not been able to be something that they could take their time with. So they talk in very short phrases. They get to the point with very serious and direct dialogue, very stagey dialogue. These guys talking like real cool ass people like Jules and Vincent.
Vincent,
I was like, man, you know what? I am completely down with this.
Yes.
Now I don't like them punching a baby either, but
I mean, I don't like him punching a baby, but it didn't feel out of character.
They've made a couple of jokes already about how
in this
stormtroopers
series.
can't shoot
In
this series. So I'm like, all right, I get the point. So that right there, if you haven't noticed those things, I get you saying, well, it didn't bother me. That did bother me. I was like another joke.
It got to the point where, because we had a Bill Burr's character, which I thought really worked the way he did. Where someone would say it's like they said, oh, he was an Imperial sharpshooter, and Mandalorian goes, well, I guess it doesn't mean much, and Bill Burr says, I wasn't a stormtrooper, and I was like, that was funny. And I like that. But again, it establishes, and that's even within that joke, it's still building the story. It's like, okay, this guy's not like the ordinary soldier, and I like that with him.
Yeah, he was another one.
But it was also funny at the same time, and I thought that worked really well.
I just thought these two guys, look, they were two guys. They got put on a shit detail.
Yeah.
And they just happened to be the closest ones to where that baby was. They said, you know what? All right, you guys go get him.
Yeah.
And they did it. They actually did.
They killed someone.
I was about to say, they ain't. Hey,
That's right. Yeah,
they're not that bad a marksman. They hit his ass.
They hit him.
They literally hit his ass.
Yeah.
He is smoking from his butt cheeks right now.
Yeah.
So I think it meant. Look, that is one of my favorite moments in this whole show too. That's one of my favorite moments in all of Star Wars.
Yeah.
That moment right there. Taika Waititi. He's somebody that. They need someone like this to come in and direct these movies. They don't need all these people who are like, I'm so serious about Star Wars and I'm so serious about keeping to the mythology and the lore. It's like, no, get a dude like this. It's like, yeah, I'm serious with it, but who gives a I'm gonna have some fun with this. Y'all have been taking this way too seriously. You don't even know what you're doing with it. Now I know we already saw an episode where Baby Yoda, I mean, what was it, 2 episodes ago? Was it last episode? He had to choke a bitch.
He's into it.
Yeah, oh, he's loving this.
yeah,
Look at,
yeah,
he's like, yeah, this shit is good.
Like a little gremlin.
He's like, hell yeah. He said, shit, let the hate flow through me.
But it's also a good, I think, building for his little character, the fact that he's surrounded by violence constantly.
Yeah.
And this is like, it's just become natural to him.
But
And it also shows the relationship he has with the Mandalorian. He's a father figure.
But
I think
how
that
come
was
he
cool.
didn't choke the stormtroopers if he was ready to choke? I mean, he's ready to choke a chick over just arm wrestling.
Sure.
He got punched in the gut by a stormtrooper. Why didn't he just say, man, f*** you, and just choke the shit out of
That's
that
another,
guy?
that's
Well,
a
he
good
seems
criticism.
to get activated when something threatens the Mandalorian, but not so much himself.
Well, he better get activated.
His bad self-preservation.
Yeah, I mean, he does later in this episode, but he doesn't know he's about to be punched.
No, I'm talking about after.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, he doesn't. I know. I mean, she was a current threat, not a I need to get revenge.
Man, I having two dudes put me in a bag and punching me like a goddamn pinata. You know, that wasn't the first punch. They would like constantly dabbing on his ass.
I know, but there's a point where he's like, I ain't scared of you guys. Yeah, okay, those punches, they kind of hurt, but when I need to take care of you, I can.
Yeah, I don't buy that. But yeah, but overall, that opening scene, I love those two stormtroopers. I wish we get more moments like that.
too.
Instead of every person trying to be a Han Solo character, just regular characters. I want to talk about I'm talking about some moments that are really cool at the beginning. I want to talk about another really good moment here. I mean, I don't know if you agree with it, but I think a moment that was really cool in here, and let me see if I can find a picture of it. That TIE fighter scene.
Oh, yeah.
Where he was on where man, look, this was really cool because if you watch the show, you know that there's a TIE fighter scene. Giancarlo Esposito's character comes in on that and he starts blasting, and the Mandalorian's, well, f you, I got a jetpack, I can fly too. And it was pretty much TIE fighter versus jetpack. That's almost like if you compare it to like earthly terms, that's almost like a jetpack versus a real jet. And that was, and I just thought that scene right there, I said, man, you know what? That was a great set piece that is right up there with any big screen action sequence.
That's where the money went
Yeah.
in that episode. Yeah.
And I loved it because, first of all, I'm really liking Giancarlo Esposito. I mean, he's pretty much the space version of his character in Breaking Bad.
Yeah, he really is. He's kind of a Gus Fring, but he's very serious. He's not a bullshitting around villain. Not a mustache twirler.
To the point where he's like saying, yeah, you can't trust me. I'll probably kill you, but give up anyway.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. He's Tarkin-esque, which I really like. We don't often see a Tarkin-esque villain in Star Wars.
Well, he's a Moff.
And he's Moff.
Somebody
True,
says-
just like Tarkin.
You got to rise up to be a Moff. Yeah.
Jeremiah says Space Gus. Well, you know what? And it is pretty close because look, I want them to blow up Giancarlo Esposito more in shows and movies because every time he blows up, he has the same line.
Same way. Same.
When he crashes the TIE fighter, he's like, I told Chris yesterday, I said, man, at the end, I thought he was going to walk out that TIE fighter adjusting his tie.
Yeah. Have his face
He's going to
blown
be all
off.
mangled and everything. I love this Looney Tunes shit right here.
God.
Yeah, I thought that was cool, man. How you feeling about that character? You like that character?
His character, I would say Gus.
Moff Gideon.
I liked him so much that when it turned out he wasn't dead, I was prepared to go like, man, but I was like, I kind of want to see more of this guy. Though.
Same.
Yeah, no, I do too.
And I loved his introduction in the previous episode where he takes out. And we can get into the spoilers of this when they take off Werner Herzog's character, and it was like, and I love that whole thing. It's like, why don't you go check again? And he's like, okay. Then he blasts him away. You want to establish a new threat? Have him kill the previous threat. That's a great introduction.
That was the thing. Thinking Werner Herzog was
He was
gonna
a
be
villain.
the big threat, and it's like, nah, there's a much bigger whale out there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that was a great setup. Thinking that he was the big threat. I even think he screamed funny.
Didn't have time to scream. Got blasted. His lungs were blasted out of his body.
The IG unit, man. The IG robot, the bounty hunter.
Yeah, whenever there's this action sequence with him, it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
Watch how he takes out dudes. He's like, oh, this is how it is when you're not limited by the way human joints work, and you completely logical
Oh.
when you're shooting at.
I
So
loved
precise.
it though. I mean, I liked him before when you saw a trailer where he was a badass gunslinger, but I liked him even more when he was when he became like a badass babysitter. Because he was kind of like Zach Galifianakis from The Hangover, running around that baby. He had a baby. He had him in a baby carrier, taking people out.
To nurse and protect.
Jaw was looking around
Like, God damn.
so do we still have a deal or not?
That jaw was like, damn, y'all actually hit something. I always talked about how I like that Baby Yoda didn't make any noises, but I love how Baby Yoda comes alive when he sees blood and death and destruction all around him.
Yeah, more death.
Kill them all.
But I thought that was a badass maneuver, man. When he
That was fun.
when he slung Baby Yoda around while he's killing people, man. And you know, that right there again is why I think it's cool to have somebody who is just as playful,
Yeah.
as Taika Waititi.
Yeah, he's playful, but he doesn't take a shit on the property. It's still adheres to what it's supposed
Yeah,
to, but
yeah.
it opens up. It's more fun. It's more lived in.
Yeah, why did they never get that guy to direct a Star Wars movie, man? Can you imagine if we had cool shit like this? Mandalorian is delivering, as far as action goes, man, this one episode delivered on so much more than the Rise of Skywalker it ever did. As
And
far as
Last
action
Jedi.
goes. Yeah, and Last Jedi. How you feeling about this, man?
No, I love all the action sequences with IG-11. I think it's great. I've loved, even in the previous episode, we see him come back again.
Yeah.
Because initially I was disappointed. Like, oh, he was only there for one episode.
Right.
And how he comes back as a nurse droid, just taking care of the baby, change his program. I thought that was really cool. I saw him learn how to not be an assassin droid, but still have to be a part of him. What I didn't like was just how he left the episode. I
Yeah,
felt like
yeah.
they didn't earn that moment.
I thought, he was a great babysitter, first of all.
Yeah.
So, But he was also, I was sad about seeing him leave because I thought, you know what? They're finally getting the team together.
Yes.
And he would have been a great member of the team. He would have been like a badass C-3PO.
Yeah.
I think this episode did a good job at making you endeared to the IG unit. And then, of course, if you saw the episode, he took himself out Terminator 2 style. Only thing, I'm just glad they didn't do the thumbs up. He had him walking in lava, sacrifice himself for the team. But
And I didn't even mind that sacrifice. It was the thing that was said between the Mandalorian and the IG unit that I think didn't work. That whole, it's like, oh, you're sad. It's like, I'm not sad. It's like, come on.
it was a
That was the schmaltzy.
you know what,
That was,
it
I
was
loved
a-
you most of all, Tin Man, or whatever.
it
It's like,
was
all
a
right.
little schmaltzy.
Schmaltzy.
It was that like, you're crying. You're crying. Shut up. He even saw him wiping his helmet. I ain't crying. It was like, all right. But you know what? Again, that suffers from the length of the episode.
Yes,
I kind of
exactly.
like that he came around. I do feel it's a little rushed, but I didn't mind it though. I liked it, and especially since you saw him just. Listen, if that character's gonna die, it's like, well, we're gonna do every cool thing with him that we can.
Yeah.
We're gonna make him a complete man. He was the MVP of the episode.
He was.
Yeah. Did a lot of fun stuff with him.
Yeah.
And Taika Waititi happens to voice him too, so I wonder why.
That is true. That is true.
And then the robot comes in. And
I think the casting has been really good. Some interesting casting that's been going on for this. Now, not all casting, but some of the more interesting casting has worked. I think the three that people are like, wow, I can't wait to see these guys do, actually did some really cool things. Giancarlo Esposito, as we talked about, Herna Wersog, and Carl Weathers, man.
I've been loving Carl Weathers' character.
He's great. Mando. I love all his dialogue.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
he had my favorite line of the whole episode, which I thought was really good humor, where it's like, do the magic hand thing, baby. Do the magic hand thing.
Baby,
What's up,
baby, do that match, hey, baby, baby. Did you notice how cool he was talking? Mando, the guild will welcome you back. All you must do is just deliver the packet. But then he got to that baby. Hey, baby. Turn black real quick. Hey, baby. Do that hand thing, baby.
When he's panicking, he gets scared. He's like, save me.
Baby. But
Well, I liked it in the episode before when the two with him got picked off,
Great
and he was
moment.
like, "Man, I didn't even want to bring you in. They're making me do that shit."
Yeah, that was a great moment.
I love the violence in this episode. Body count was high. during this episode.
A lot of painful deaths, too.
Yeah, a lot of pain. They melted a stormtrooper, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the violence has been actually pretty cool throughout the season. I mean, there have been moments I'm like, man, y'all going soft, and then they'll do some shit like this. Yeah, motherfucker, that's soft.
He's soft inside, now
Yeah.
he's cooked.
Especially out wearing all that plastic armor, that's just gonna stick to your skin.
Oh, burned a stormtrooper alive. I was like, wow, you know, when you do cool things like that, I think that's awesome. You know, of course, they're not going to do that to somebody who's out of a stormtrooper outfit.
Sure.
You know, that's
Well, we'll see.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. They was, like I said, man, I would say that there's some episodes that they didn't go all the way on, like the episode with Bill Burr, where
The heist
he was
episode.
pretty much hunting them down like a serial killer.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good way to show it because there's a lot of talk about what a badass the Mandalorian is, and I don't feel like we didn't really see that so much until that episode.
Yeah.
when it was like, okay, this is why
I
everybody
was like,
talks
y'all
about
should
this guy.
kill him, though. I mean, I thought he was going to kill those people, but
Yes.
they put him in prison.
That's the thing that's the inconsistencies. It's like, okay, so sometimes it's okay for you to kill these people, but not these people who betrayed you, left you for dead in this prison. Now you're not going to kill them. That's the thing that felt weird for me. I like those characters, at least some of them. I
Yeah.
like Bill Burr as the Imperial sharpshooter. Some of those other guys you can forget, but it's weird inconsistencies.
Yeah, I hope
to
they
the
come
season.
back and he kills his ass.
Yeah, I think so. That's why they're saving him.
Shit, I hope he comes back. I just want to see somebody get. I want to see him use that shit on somebody who ain't got on a storm. Jesus, that dude, you know.
He cooked inside his armor.
I do have a weird moment in the show.
Yeah.
And it's just a personal thing. I don't expect everybody to see it the way I do, but there was a moment here I wish they hadn't done, and that is I wish they hadn't taken the helmet off of the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Or if they had, we hadn't seen it, his face. I wish I think that would have been cool had IG. I don't know if he's an 88 unit or what, but if the
IG-11.
IG-11, IG had actually pulled it off, and he saw, and of course he's not human, so he's the only one that gets to see him without his helmet on. But but we're human, and the audience doesn't get to see it.
Right. It's from the side, silhouetted, or just IG is always blocking it.
Yeah, and put some Austin Powers shit. But when they took the helmet off, I thought it might have even been cool had it been another actor. It wasn't.
I thought that too, but it's like,
What
I mean, he's been putting in his dues. At least his voice.
he has.
Yeah.
You know what? But what bothered me though is that they took it off. Okay, so it's Pedro Pascal, of course, the guy who does the voice. So I wish we hadn't seen his face, but okay, whatever. But he took it off. But what got me is that when they took it off, he still had a mustache, and I'm like, man, you never take your helmet off to show anybody. So why are you stylizing your facial hair?
It's for him.
It's for him.
This mustache is for me.
Well, in case my shit accidentally fall off, I'm gonna look good. You know, I was like, man, why you worried about having a mustache? I can understand if you had a beard or you just clean shaven, but like, well, you got a mustache, man. You know what? I thought it would have been funny. I thought it would be funny if IG had taken his helmet off and then just crushed his skull like Game of Thrones. Like, oh, no! All right, I'm gonna talk about what worked in here, and then we can get into what and what they can do better.
Yeah.
So what I thought worked was the Western feel. Of course, is something that everybody talked about, and I definitely think that was a wise move because I think that the Western feel is what keeps this from feeling different from Star Wars properties out there.
True.
So I think that the Western feel helped us out a lot. I think it's something that is familiar to Star Wars, so it's not anything that's catching people off guard with something too new, but it's something that people want to see explored more. And they did. And choosing a bounty hunter to be your main character, while some people may have complaints about the consistency or tone of the character, I think that, finally being able to see a bounty hunter in action in his own series is something that worked.
As far as TV series go and episodes go, we've seen Westerns work, so there's already a formula for that. And having it be a bounty hunter kind of puts the teeth back in Star Wars. That's something that was much needed. And to just not be all about the Jedi is just nice.
Yeah.
I do think, as you point out in the past, Corey, that it's sometimes a Western to a fault, where I think when it's more episodic, more of those filler episodes, then you really start to notice how weak the writing is. But some of the other things, I mean, I like the fact that we're focusing on Bounty Hunter, but it still can't help itself by also being connected to the Force too. We have a character, Baby Yoda, who is Force sensitive. And my concern for the future is now that we've set it up, where this season, it doesn't really answer any questions. It just asks more questions. And where a big part of the season 2 is obviously going to be finding Baby Yoda's people. So it's going to be, again, going from planet to planet. It's like, oh, we're going to go off on this adventure. Is this the thing where we're going to find him? No. And that's my concern, is that it's going to become more episodic. It's going to delve into that more. And it's going to delve more into the Force stuff, which I wish they kind of would back away from. You can still have those movies. I have no problem with that, or a series like that. We're going to get that with Ben Kenobi. But I would like something to be something separated from that, and that they still seem to be indulging in the same things.
I don't know that you can have Star Wars and not have it connect to the Force in some way, because that's so much of what its DNA is.
Sure.
But this, where it's not a lot.
Yeah.
I would rather not deal with the Force at all if we can get around it, because it's just another way to just kind of. It feels like to me it's just easy marketing when you put the Force and other Star Wars.
Yeah,
canon
and when
things
you write your characters into a corner, the Force can always get them out.
Sure. Actually, they can literally force their way out of it.
Yeah.
But there was enough in here where it didn't bother me. Like I said, one of the great things that they did here with casting, and I think they need to do this moving forward, is keep casting interesting actors.
Yeah.
Keep casting actors that you don't think would be in a Star Wars movie. Surprise us with actors that we've seen somewhere else that we don't see often in science fiction or fantasy things. The casting of Giancarlo Esposito, Werner Herzog, and Carl Weathers, I think those were some of the best performances and characters we had in the show.
Yeah, for sure.
They elevated the material that they were
they
given.
really did. They really did. And I'm glad that Carl Weathers is actually going to be a bigger part
Me too.
of the team that we have coming up.
Because I thought for sure they were going to kill him off 3 episodes ago.
Yeah, I did too. Let's see some things that they can improve on, or maybe they shouldn't do again. I think everyone would agree. First of all, you did it already. No more punching Baby Yoda. no more of that.
Well, there really should be no more of that.
Yeah.
No, that was the last time y'all need to do that. They got these people hot out here. So no more punching Baby Yoda. But I agree with you very heavily on something, Chris.
Yeah.
Stick to the storyline.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
We had some standalone episodes here that they worked. They were cool. I love seeing. I love that episode when old Mandalorian goes in there, gets his ass beat by Jawas.
Yeah.
They take his shit,
Yeah.
beat his ass again, and then they make him buy his shit back. That is probably one of my favorite moments of this show.
Yeah, that was fun.
Because that was second episode. They said, "Nah, man, this dude's a bitch."
We ain't scared of him.
They put his spaceship on bricks.
And then make us breakfast.
Yeah, go get me an egg. Go get me an egg. Not a dozen. Go get me an egg. Go get me breakfast.
Yeah. But I thought the episode worked because it built a dynamic between the Mandalorian and Yoda. So I still think it
did.
had importance.
No, there are moments, there are episodes that work okay by themselves, but I think for the most part, as proven by this last episode that we had, it shows that when you get back to the story, things really flow a little bit better. It's when you start to compare the better episodes, all the better episodes, except for I think the Jawa episode, are the ones that are really getting back on track. And I think that makes you reflect on the ones that were just standalone episodes and realize, yeah, man, they might have been cool, but they were just kind of filler.
Well, I feel like the best episodes were the first 2 and the last 2.
Yeah. So
Those are
you're
the
talking
ones that
about
really stuck with the story.
Well, episode 3 did as well. That was when he made the decision to go back on the Bounty Hunters Guild and Werner Herzog.
Right. So that leaves us with 3
episodes,
3
yeah.
episodes that were
Filler.
either standalone or just straight up filler.
Yeah.
and those are the weakest, I think.
And with only 8 episodes to your story, and each one being less than an hour, you got to fill that time wisely.
Yep.
That's another thing. I would say.
Because nobody came to this wanting short episodes.
No one expected that either.
And that's a brilliant point, because that was my next point right here. Stick to the storyline. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm reading you very much. Sorry, make episodes longer. Because I think either, to your point where you said either lower it down to only be 5 episodes, but make them like an hour.
Yeah.
Or if you want the standalone episodes, you really think you have something to tell, I think it would be best to make those longer too. Because they had that episode where they, again, like the 7 Samurai episode where they go into the village and help those people.
Yeah.
And what happens was with that episode, the weaker episodes are when you just make them 30 minutes or 40 minutes long. They don't have time to flesh those stories out. You are just stuck with the cliches
Generic,
of that story. You're stuck with the cliches of the gunslinger. You're stuck with the cliches of training a village to fend for themselves. Or you're stuck with a commercial just selling Baby Yoda toys. I think if, either cut the series shorter to like 5 episodes, like you say, or make everything longer.
Yeah, I'll make everything longer.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if it had been 8 1-hour episodes, okay, that's fine.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that. Make the characters more consistent would be my next point.
Yeah.
That goes mainly for the Mandalorian himself, because going back to what you were saying, and my friend even made a point of this in Waco. I'm talking my friend Brigham, and he said, Brigham, he said, man, and I agree with him, because that episode, because I brought up saying, I don't like when he just stalked those people at the space prison and just knocked them out and put them in a prison cell, because at the beginning of the show, he was supposed to be ruthless, man. Like, he murdered somebody. Not just out of self-defense. No, he had it out for this dude. That dude, like the first episode, he killed a dude with a door. He's like, wait a minute, I wasn't even fighting no more. Hold on, wait a minute. That dude, he was on his way out. He's like, man, I give up. You win. And he's like, no. It's too late. No, you start this shit, I'm going to end it. And I asked you this stuff, too. I was like, who builds a door like that anyway? A door out of blades.
Sadomasochist.
Just to make it look cool.
So if you get that point where he's like this ruthless bounty hunter that just kills anybody just at any given moment, and then you got him like at another moment like, oh, I got a heart now, and I'm gonna let you go. And I was like,
soft.
I don't know. I don't mind him going soft on certain characters if that can be explained, and why or it can be explained why he decides to go harder on some other characters.
It could have been easily explained in the Bill Burr episode where he just says, "You tried to imprison me. Well, here you go."
Yeah.
Like if they just had like a line of dialogue where he's like, "Now you get it."
Or we
That
see-
would have been cool.
Yeah. Or we see them in there like, we need water. We're dying. And the Mandalorian's like, yeah, suffer, bitches.
Yeah, he did everything but hang compliments of your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man sign.
Pretty
on
much.
them.
I think that they need, now I think even the writers might be getting a feeling for this character a little bit better. And I think given that we have a understanding of his relationship with Baby Yoda, we know that he might be a little softer now because he has this, he's protecting a child.
He's a father now.
He's pretty much a father now. I think they maybe could use that to explain why he doesn't want to be violent, especially when he is around this kid and this mother wants to just force choke everything he sees, after a while. He's like, shit, if I'm not a role model, this kid's gonna go around killing everybody that tries to even
it could get explained that way.
Yeah. So
That'd be fine.
I think write better dialogue
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
would be a good thing to move forward.
But I would say ease back on the classic jokes and the fan service.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's another thing of
No
mine
calling
too.
people nerf herders or
Womp rat.
or womp
Yeah,
rat
womp rats.
or somebody saying I got a bad feeling about this.
No, that's on the
Yeah.
list, and you
I
have it,
agree.
and you're exactly right. Because one of my biggest, and I did have it because I got it pulled up here. You're talking about sayings. I'm going right down to even visuals, man. Like that whole thing of having the
The cantina.
the cantina scene where they're sitting right in Han Solo's booth, where he, I got tiny right here, but
I'd seat you in the solo.
We've heard it all. Like, can we just please,
No,
please, can we move on? Please.
Go to new places.
Man, we're giving you the Force. We're still playing around in dirt.
You got a Baby Yoda.
There you go.
We go back to Tatooine, to the same bar, to the same booth. It's like, come on, man. As we said, this is the galaxy, not a neighborhood. Let's avoid cartoony characters. I mean, I'm not talking about let's not have funny characters and let's not have, characters that might not, they don't have to be like completely fleshed out to be taken out of movies where we see them, having the best drama or whatever. We know this is Star Wars. We don't need that. But let's avoid characters like Amy Sedaris, man, where she felt like she was at the holiday special, man. And also the girl from Game of Thrones, man.
Ooh.
with
Oh, right, her.
Natalia Tina, man. That girl, she played
A Twi'lek.
yeah, and she, one of the gang members that was going to turn on the Mandalorian when they try to rescue somebody from prison. It's the whole thing. Like,
Yeah.
It's like, what are you an alien or are you Catwoman? They're either too funny or too villainous, and I think it's okay to have those kind of characters, but those characters where they're just too much of a stereotype combined with bad dialogue is very obvious and very terrible.
It's not perfect, but it's good. It's mostly better than I expected. Especially where it started to dip, and I was worried about it going. Because I was at that point you complaining about it. I was like, well, I didn't expect much. But these last 2 episodes, it was like, okay, this raises it. Now I see what this show can be.
Overall, I enjoyed it. Overall, I think it
Yeah.
works. It's the first season. I think they would be wise to take some feedback from people out there, from fans.
Yeah.
The feedback that has been applied to Star Wars in general has been very much applied to here. So it's not like it's just this show. It's stuff
Right.
that's going on all around.
Yeah.
When it's all said and done, I have problems with this. It's nothing that I don't think can be fixed in the second episode. And I think, again, out of everything that we've seen, my biggest complaint about Star Wars, the movies, is that they haven't been consistent.
Yep.
And all of the, thank God, man, I didn't have to look at another Death Star. Jesus Christ! If I see another big ass ball up in space blowing up shit, I'm gonna lose it,
Well,
man.
hey, man, we don't have Death Stars anymore. We just have ships that all have
Death Triangles.
We got death pyramids. Yeah, death triangles. Yeah. Out of here.
A lot of them now.
I let it slide. I let it slide with Rogue One, and Rogue One is still my favorite out of the new things that they've done.
Oh, yeah.
But The Mandalorian is my second.
Yeah.